I'm always up for a game, but if you'd like coaching as well, you can sign up as my student. Which color do you prefer to play with? Let's play. Your rook can move as indicated by the arrows. Your rook can move as indicated by the arrows. Sure thing. This game is a draw, because it's stalemate. Unless you'd like to take back your last move and try something else. Back we go. This game is a draw, because it's stalemate. Unless you'd like to take back. Back we go. This game is a draw, because it's stalemate. No harm done. Your bishop can move as indicated by the arrows. The game is yours. I'm always up for a game, but if you'd like coaching as well, you can sign up as my student. Continue developing. We both have one bishop left to develop. I will place mine on b7. Complete your development by moving your bishop to g5. Our pieces are well placed for the strategic battle that lies ahead. Now let's get some practice. I'll play this. What will you play? That move allows me to capture your knight. There is no reason to sacrifice material in this position. Retreat. What will you play? That move allows me to capture your bishop. Take that move back and retreat your bishop to a safe square instead. What will you play? This move protects your center and opens a diagonal for your bishop on c1. However, it hangs your bishop on a4. Let's go back so that you can retreat your bishop to safety. What will you play? This move defends your bishop, but does not prevent me from capturing it. Let's go back so that you can retreat your bishop to safety. What will you play? That's it. All right, let's go back and I'll try something else. What is a good move that you could play here? Castling is an excellent idea. You're getting a solid feel for how to play the opening. Let's say I develop my knight and attack your pawn on e4. How will you respond? Defending your pawn and opening up a diagonal for your bishop. That's a great move. Let's look at a common trap that ensnares beginners. Start as usual. I will follow suit and put a pawn in the center. For this example, move your knight to c3. Now I will develop normally. Continue by moving your bishop to c4. Seeking a hasty victory, I bring my queen out early. My plan is to checkmate you on f2. This move violates our principles and can be punished. Move your pawn to g3. Having moved my queen once, now I must move her again and fall further behind in development. I again threaten checkmate on f2. Develop naturally and move your knight to f3, preventing this. Your queen defends your knight, so I cannot capture it. I have one idea left. My queen and bishop battery point at your f2 pawn, but there is no reason to panic. Castle your king and complete your development. I wasted 3 moves with my queen while you calmly developed your pieces and castled your king. Your position is far superior to mine. Let's see how you respond to this attack. Your move. That move allows me to capture a pawn. Let's go back, and this time find a different way to do your move. Don't let me get away with such nonsense. Castle your king and defend the f2 square instead. Your move. Well played. Again, I have violated the opening rules by bringing out my queen early. Do you see the best way to stop my checkmate threat? There is a capture here that will end my attack. Try again and look for captures. Again, I have violated the opening rules by bringing up my queen early. Do you see the best way to stop my checkmate threat? Sometimes the best defense is a capture. Again, I have violated the opening rules by bringing up my queen early. Do you see the best way to stop my checkmate threat? That move does defend against the checkmate, but there is a better way to do it that also captures a piece. Try again and look for captures. Again, I have violated the opening rules by bringing up my queen early. Do you see the best way to stop my checkmate threat? That move does defend against the checkmate, but you have a much better move here. Try again and look for captures. Again, I have violated the opening rules by bringing up my queen early. Do you see the best way to stop my checkmate threat? Try moving your queen on d1 to g4. Kudos on seeing this capture. I have one final challenge for you. Dear student, let's see what you've learned. My queen radiates menace. What can you do? Attacking my queen is a nice idea, but it does not work here. My queen attacks your king and rook at once. Go back and look for a move that defends your pawn on e4. My queen radiates menace. What can you do? Developing and defending. I see. I will apply more pressure. My knight and queen are teaming up to cause you a problem. Can you solve it with a principled move? Sorry, that wasn't the right move. Let's go back and look again. My knight and queen are teaming up to cause you a problem. Can you solve it with a principled move? Attacking my queen is a clever solution. Well done. Good work completing this lesson. If you put a pawn in the center, develop your pieces and castle quickly, you will succeed in the opening. Checkmating is simple once you know how to do it. Start by advancing your king to c5. Notice how your queen has trapped my king against the edge of the board. Only a8 and b8 are available for my king to shuffle back and forth. Your king must participate in this checkmate. Step your regent to b6. Sorry, that wasn't the right move. Your king must participate in this checkmate. Step your regent to b6. My poor king is trapped and can only shuffle back to b8. Now deliver checkmate with your queen by bringing her to b7. Your king protects your queen, who is both checking my king and attacking all of his escape squares. March your king towards mine, and only move your queen once to deliver mate. You did it. Let's look at a slightly harder example. Your first goal is to push the enemy king to the edge. Move your queen to f6. Your queen creates a barrier around my king, limiting where he can move. Now move your queen to e7 and trap my king against the edge of the board. I cannot move into check, so my only choice is to run to b8. With my king trapped against the edge, it's time to bring your king into the action. Advance him to c5. I can only shuffle back and forth as your king approaches mine. Move your king to b6, where it will be able to protect your queen. My king can run, but he cannot hide. Move your queen to b7 and deliver mate. Finito. Push my king to the edge with your queen, then bring your king towards mine to help checkmate. Well played. Now let's look at an even harder example. My king stands in the middle of the board. Move your queen to f4 to restrict his movement. Your queen creates a box around my king, limiting his options and nudging him out of the center. When my king moves one square diagonally, you can mirror my move to close in quickly. Instead of checking my king, use your queen to make the box around my king smaller. My king moved diagonally again, but this time in a different direction. Mirror this movement with your queen to restrict his options further. If I were to move to the edge, you would trap me there immediately, so I will step sideways to c7 to prolong the inevitable. Again, your queen can mirror my move and squeeze me further towards the edge. Notice how your king has not yet moved, while your queen does the heavy lifting in this endgame. Now step your queen one square closer to enclose my king into the corner. My king has no choice now but to move to the edge of the board. I move diagonally one square, so you can do the same to trap me on the edge. My king is now entombed on the square c8, b8 and a8. Once you have trapped my king on the edge of the board, it is time to march your king across the board. I can only shuffle back and forth as your king approaches. March your king towards mine. I have only one legal move. March your king one step closer. My king can only watch as yours approaches. It's been a long journey, but your king has arrived. Move your king to b6. The b8 square is my only option. Move your queen to b7 and checkmate my king. Now let's get some practice with this technique. Let's test your technique. Can you checkmate me? Bravo! Let's look at an example of what can go wrong. Move your queen to d7 to squeeze my king into the corner. With my king already trapped against the edge of the board, the correct plan would be to march your king. Now, move your queen to c7 and let's see what happens. This is a stalemate because my king is not in check, and I have no legal moves to make. You must be careful to avoid this draw by ensuring that my king has at least one square it can move to. If it were my turn, this would be stalemate. Move your queen to d7 so that my king has a square to move to. Now my king is trapped and can only shuffle between b8 and a8 while your king makes the long march across the board. Advance your king to b3. My king has only one option. March your king towards the action. I can only mark time by moving back and forth while your king approaches. Step your king forward once more. This technique takes time, but it is very effective. Move your king to b6 and prepare to checkmate me. Here it comes. Move your queen to b7 and win the game. You must allow the enemy king room to move back and forth along the edge while you march your king. If you take away all of the enemy king's squares, you run the risk of stalemating him. Do your best to avoid stalemate and checkmate me. Checkmate. Nicely done. Let's look at another example of what can go wrong in this endgame. Move your queen to f6. This is stalemate, because my king is not in check and I have no legal moves. We learn these stalemate patterns in order to avoid them. Moving your queen to f6 would stalemate my king. Move your queen to g7 instead. Now my king is restricted to the edge of the board, but still has a legal move, so this isn't a stalemate. Move your queen to d7 to checkmate my king and win the game. Avoiding stalemate is fundamental to mastering this endgame. Let's get some practice. Carefully avoid stalemate and checkmate me. That's it. Well played. Use what you've learned to checkmate my king. You're getting the hang of this. Here is another one. Can you beat me in this position? Checkmate. Nice technique. Here is a harder one. Can you beat me? I have no legal moves, so this is stalemate, a draw. Here is a harder one. Can you beat me? You're getting the hang of this. Practice makes perfect. Your turn. I have no legal moves, so this is stalemate, a draw. Practice makes perfect. Your turn. You're getting the hang of this. Here is your final challenge. Can you beat me in this position? You got me. Kudos on mastering this checkmate. Nice work completing this lesson. I'm impressed with your tenacity. Do this lesson again if you ever want to brush up on this skill. Move your rook up to checkmate me. This is the classic rook and king checkmate pattern. Your king controls the 7th rank, while your rook dominates the 8th. You can also do it like this. Again, your king controls the 7th rank while your rook checks my king and attacks the 8th rank. Checkmate. Do you see an immediate checkmate here? That's it. Nice job spotting this mate. My king is in the corner. Do you see the checkmate? That's it. All right, you're ready for something a little harder now. Your rook has trapped my king on the 8th rank, but to checkmate, your king must get personally involved. My king doesn't have many options. Now corner my king completely. The b8 square is the only safe space for my king. And now you can play checkmate. Do you see it? That's it. You couldn't have done it without your king. Here as well, your king must approach. I will attack your rook. You must not lose your rook. My king can only move back and forth between g8 and h8 while your king approaches. Move your king to f6 to set up the checkmate. Still trapped, my king can only move back and forth. Once your king stands at g6, he will control the critical squares on the 7th rank. I have only one move to play. And now you can end the game by playing checkmate. Do you see it? You saw it. Well done. It's my turn. I'll do this. A lot of beginners would play this. Go ahead and do it. But then my king can step aside before you can checkmate me. And you could come back. Go ahead and play it. And it looks like we're cursed to dance back and forth together forever. But there is a way out. I'll show you. The way out of dancing back and forth forever is to play a move that does nothing but waste time, losing a turn on purpose. So, when I move, you must lose a turn by moving your rook. My king knows f8 would be his doom, so he'll go to h8. Now your king goes in for the kill. My king has only one legal move. And now you know what to do. As you see, losing a turn was essential. If you approach with your king to f5, I will simply step aside and our kings will not be aligned. Move your rook to g1 to lose a turn. By moving your rook, you have passed the move back to me. My king only has two options. Let's see what happens if I move to h4. With our kings aligned, your rook is ready to deliver checkmate. Do you see it? Well played. Let's look at this position again. Move your rook to g1 to lose a turn and keep my king trapped against the edge. This time, I will run with my king in the other direction. Now your king can give chase, running my regent into the corner. Towards the corner I go. Move your king to chase mine further into the corner. I know that if I move to h6, you will have a checkmate, so I will prolong the inevitable and escape to h8. Now move your king to f7, giving me no choice but to place my king in front of yours on the next turn. Your pieces force my king to the square h7. With our kings aligned, your rook is ready to deliver checkmate. Bravo!